go, here we go, here we go. Welcome to the show, you know. Monica, Mo, justice in the mix. Bringing truth with no tricks. Mama Mo, here we go. Welcome to the show, you know. Monica, Mo, justice in the mix. Bringing truth with no tricks. Saturday's our day to shine. Focus on books and storylines. Courtroom drama commentary. Keeping it real, never scary. Mo justice dropping wisdom. Weekend vibes, you can't miss them. Open your mind, let the truth be told. From the cases big to the bold. Deep dive into legal scenes. Breaking down what justice means. Analyzing every clue we find. No stone left unturned, no mind left blind.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Monos featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Hey, I'm getting a little bit better at it. I think I got the clothes together too. I'm sorry I tardy to the party, but I can't. There just be some days I can't. And there be some days when I gotta like get my me together because I be thinking a lot of things. All right, let me just give you my analysis of yesterday's closing arguments, right? These opinions are those of Monica Mo Justice and nobody else. I started putting together a list. uh, it just was too. It just was too much. At the end of the day, it just was too much. To really, it was a lot to digest. It went too long. Let me check the mic. It went too long. I was annoyed at some points. The stream stopped streaming. Even it couldn't take no more. The stream stopped streaming. I think reality settled in. So let me give you the positives. It's over with. The closing arguments are completed. So that's one positive. The other positive is each side did the best with the information that they had that was available to them. You understand? In the case of the prosecutors, you don't get to pick who your deviants are or your criminals are, and you can only put forth what you can put forth based on the characters that you have to deal with, right? But in the interest of justice, you try your best to present a case surrounding the folks you got to be surrounded, or the apparently you don't get to pick your case, but in this case, it's up for debate. Did they get to pick the case that they got, considering that this information had been sitting around for years, ages, decades, and they hadn't decided to pursue it until somebody got zealous and felt like they was going to handle some business. But did they reach their ultimate goal? We'll never know until the jurors come back with their until the jury has rendered their decision. In terms of the defense, I think each defense team personally could have done better because they did not present a case. Now, this is controversial because people always say you don't have to put on a defense because your client is innocent until proven guilty, but you also don't testify through your closing arguments or opening statements as to what the mindset of your client. And unfortunately, for in my opinion, both of those attorneys, Shard and Doug Weinstein, Max Shard and Doug Weinstein, did a lot of testifying instead of putting forth that information. So it's not, you can give a ration, you can give an explanation for the unexplainable, but at the end of the day, it's only the testimony that counts. What the lawyers say is not evidence, and that's and that's the sad case about both sides of this event. Both sides of this trial put forth a closing arguments not based on the evidence that they put that they presented to the jurors. You can find instance after instance where their theories did not come through the testimony. You cannot pull that or extract that type of information from the witnesses that were available to us to evaluate. It's easy to get up here, or maybe it's not so easy, to wake up one day and just double down. I feel like if you felt that the prosecution hadn't put on a good case, you probably are going to believe that their closing arguments weren't beneficial. I'm here to tell you that the closing arguments and the statements and the things that Hilton presented, I'm not convinced, but I won't say that it's not convincing. But again, it's not evidence. Good morning, Miss Washington. It's not evidence. And the stuff that Shard put out there, let me just go through it, because I had this whole pretty presentation that I was sitting up here putting together, but the more I was putting the information in the presentation, the more I was thinking about how both sides were living vicariously through their presentation of the evidence, opposed to really doing the case. I'm disappointed because I really feel, in listening to the closing arguments, that the defense needed to present a defense. Not to dispute the allegations, but to put the credibility of their clients on the line. You needed somebody to tell their story on the stand, and not you, the attorney who got paid to tell this story. It just looks like there's nobody there's no, like, it just makes you look like you don't have a support mechanism. But that's my opinion. I recently I recently attended a trial, and the person didn't put on any evidence. But I believe that the prosecutors put on such a poor case that what ended up happening in that instance, they didn't need to put a case up, because you just knew the people was lying, right? In this particular case, with the YSL, everybody's a liar. The state's a liar. The state's witnesses are liars. Good morning, Shay. The witnesses are liars. Let me go through it. Let me start with, let me see if this will pull up over here. Hold up. I keep forgetting that my stuff shares the platforms. Closing arguments. Yes, it will. This is not, it's not finished. I don't know. I don't like bringing unfinished products to the forefront because people talk about you, because I would talk about me. And I realized yesterday I didn't have no disclaimers on my stuff. These people be wanting to put watermarks on their thing. All right. Anyway, you know what? People can't live through your experience. I did not realize that this was even over here. Oh, I got to do this like this. All right, let me get y'all together. Hold on a second. I'm gonna show y'all what I put together. Court today doesn't start until 9:30. So we've got just a little bit of time. Is that, yeah, I'm gonna do that. We got just a little bit of time. Can I just, oh, I just need this to be off my screen. That is so terrible. All right, hold on. I am trying to now. Maybe this is the one that I need to do. All right, hold on. Studio mode. She said shit. She said, girl, share away. We here for it. All right, but I gotta make sure that this is the right one. No, that's not the right one. We need to go to closing arguments. Okay, and then I need to go to slide. All right. I'm gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna take the image from the back off. All right, so I don't know if y'all need my big head in here, but we'll see. You know what? No, you don't. So, one more thing I need to move up. Oh, you know what? I need to turn her off, and then I need to turn her on. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Y'all tell me how this looks. Okay. All right. I just gotta find this other chat. That's that one. And I need to move it over here. I gotta fix these computers. Anyway, these are closing arguments. Girl, don't you remember this? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is my bestie. I'm gonna get besties mad. This is just. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Okay. This is all OBS, all right? Good morning, ad sisters. All right, here we go. So remember, this is just my preliminary thoughts that I was trying to put together. Okay, so here we are. All right, so as we know, we were dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 charges. In this presentation, a little bit different from yesterday, although you can't tell. Do I have the right slide? Hold up. Let me make sure I got the right one. All right, that was yesterday. Okay. Here's where we are today. I had to steal information from the other slide. So here we are where we are at today. The RICO count, I didn't understand what Atkins was saying. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you, but all I know is he gave a prime example of people robbing a bank, which is a traditional example that that prosecutors or people that deal in this use as an example. It's always going to be the bank robber situation. And the reason why is because normally to pull off a bank robbery, right, you will have the people that go in the bank and actually do the robbing. And then you'll have the person, the lookout, or somebody on the outside, the person in the car, whatever. And then you will have the unfortunate incident that the person that goes inside to rob the bank also generally fatally injures or injures somebody. And the next thing you know, because you standing outside, all your role is to drive the car. This fool done went inside there and injured somebody or fatally injured somebody, and you are a party to that situation, right? So that's a little different than the conspiracy part. That the part there is being a participant, and when you are engaging in a felony, right, a felony activity, and one person causes, fatally injures somebody, just because you're there participating with them. I always use the words in concert with, because you're in concert with the person, meaning that you are there. Guess what happens? You get charged with the same thing that person gets charged with. And that's what that's basically what this is all about. And that's basically what he was just trying to show yesterday, is that, hey, they're co-conspirators, and part of the conspiracy is that they agreed to do this in some shape or fashion, and that there's 6 degrees of separation. So even though person A might not know person B, but guess what? Person B knows person C, and person C knows person A. No, wait a minute. Person A doesn't know person B, but he knows person C. You know what I'm trying to say. Basically what they're saying is, I know you, you know me, we good. Now, I don't know who you know, but a friend of mine knows somebody that you know, and guess what? That makes us all connected. That's basically what he was trying to get at yesterday, and that was his case. So I don't know if the RICO part, but personally, my dude, Shannon Stillwell, he's more likely to be charged with the RICO. To be found guilty of the RICO because of that one phone call, in my mind, right? The one phone call where he goes to jail and some other crew, some crew he's not even in, they're up there bickety bockety boo boo talking about who is up in the prison with us, and we need to we need to lay low because he's been injured. So he's in here. You understand? That was a beast mode. And I'm just going to tell you, from that moment forward, you understood that Stillwell either made friends on every side of the track and just was that dude, or he just was that dude that you don't F with. It's simple. Like there's no hiding behind it and trying to act like, ooh. You understand? Things moved around him, and you could see it. And Shar had the hardest case because at the end of the day, Teflon Don, which Stillwell became, is because of the actions, but for the actions of the state, the prosecutors, the police department, right? Failure to prosecute the people that executed the other two guys under the underpass, right, in March 2022, and still to this day to keep their case open because you're pursuing this case. Now, personally, I think that probably all the players are probably all incarcerated somewhere. That's why they're not too worried about retaliatory measures any further. And they were able to let people go on bonds and all kinds of stuff because I really think they got everybody all caged up until further notice. But to sit up here and not pursue who damaged them people, who caused their heart to bleed, but then I have no confidence in this prosecutorial office, because that's what I'm gonna call them. But I have the prosecutor's office in Fulton County. I have no confidence in their ability because I also think of the situation that we just discovered innocently, looking into Young Thug's son's mother who was executed at the bowling alley. I remember seeing that story a long time ago without it being part of this. Like, I didn't understand. I didn't even connect it to any of this. I wasn't even checking for rappers with crime stories. But I just remember watching that, watching the interview while the family members was on the stairs trying to explain what happened at the bowling alley and so on and so forth, for the prosecution to bring that case to the court, and then the judge dismissed it on the grounds of self-defense because she shot up in the air. Let me tell you hoochie coochies with these firearms, right? Just like Stillwell's girlfriend, she said that when she was shooting at these people, she was shooting with her eyes closed. I remember watching the video and hearing somebody comment, was like, yo, she's a terrible shot because she didn't even get girly, right? Girl that was trying to rob her, right? Stop playing with things you don't know how to utilize. Like, if I'm going to get one of those things, I'm going to get it and it's going to have an intended purpose. Like, cut it out. You're playing with yourself. So you're actually playing with yourself, because if the other person on the other side who got one too is better at it and about it, guess what's going to happen to you? You still ain't going to be here to tell it. And it's going to be the situation that happened to Thug's son's mother. She ended up, 1, losing her life, 2, throwing out warning shots, and 3, she ain't here no more to tell us about it. So that's just unfortunate. Anyway, I don't know what they're going to do with this RICO stuff, but whatever. The next charge up on the slate, and this is where I was putting my stuff in here. So if you see typos or any O's, y'all gotta be like, okay, Mo ain't finished what she was doing. She's just showing us a preliminary overview of what she heard yesterday. So let's talk about it. Here we go. This person's timeline. The state developed a timeline for the first time. Maybe they had one, but because they didn't have their case organized, none of us could see it. But yesterday she was able to show us her timeline. I ain't even gonna throw shots at it. She definitely highlighted Sprinkle's investigation, which I think is what both Stillwell's people can acknowledge that when Sprinkle got involved in the case, he definitely showed the malfeasance in the office of the police department, right? He showed us their inability to either prosecute or try to solve these crimes because they didn't care. I don't really know what it was. People say it's incompetence. I just think there was just bias around the board. These people, these law enforcement officers grew up with these who are now the people involved in this RICO were originally these people's students. They was up in the schools. They was interacting with these men, young men, when they were underage, and they were creating this narrative that we see now come to fruition. Anyway, Sprinkle was able to corroborate Copeland and Zachary's interrogation, and according to the theory of the prosecution, it's not that these guys are lying that they were lying back then. Is that they're lying today because they don't want their friends to know that they told on them, right? Personally, this is where the jurors are going to have to decide who they're going to believe, who's credible, what's credible, and you have the right to disregard anything you believe as a juror is not credible. So this is going to be up for, everyone can call Copeland and Zachary liars, but it's what the jury believes at this point. Things that I found to be critical, points that I believe they made. So I believe this was made during the case. That there was no concert in Florida the days immediately following the murder of Donovan Thomas. And I thought that although Steele was presenting all of these different flyers of events, there came a point in time in rebuttal that the prosecution was able to present that there was no flyers. There was no scheduled event that warranted everybody to be out of town, that they were just going there by happenstance too. So I think that was a good point on their side for me. The fact that Thug rented the Infinity and other people decided to drive it and do a crime in it, and that's no big brownie point to me. But in terms of that being an overt act that they could find inside of the RICO count, right? That they could find to be true is a yes. However, it was also in 2015, so it's outside of the 5-year window that they have for overt acts. So if they were to write this down, because it's a fact, Thug rented the Infinity, that is a fact. It will be in the overt act sections for count 1 of the RICO, but it won't have no value added and have anyone indicted if that's the item that they choose to unanimously agree upon. The gas station meetup. Hilton made a big deal about the timeline and it inside the gas station and 6:44, 7:15. That is the period of time that Kendrick waited in the gas station in rival territory for the other folks to arrive in my car. Now, I don't know, because we later found out that they didn't have Kendrick's telephone, that they weren't able to match it. Wasn't in all of the pings that they did with the cell phone data, they wasn't able to match him to that location, even though we saw him in the video. So that's up to if you believe the state or if you believe Kendrick, right? The evidence didn't show the only evidence that put Kendrick at the gas station was that of him being in the picture at the gas station. Um, I got my feelings about the Pontiac, but they try to tell you that it wasn't a Pontiac that did the shooting, it was the Infinity. Um, Kendrick told them that he saw Donovan. That is why he is there. That is an assumption. That is what that's part of the prosecutor's theory. But did they prove that? Was there evidence to support that? That's why my title today is the title that it is, because I don't see where the evidence supported their closing arguments was by proxy. This would have been good evidence to definitely shore up and let us see, but I didn't see it. They could have easily switched cars. So again, you're in closing statements and you're making a statement when you should have had evidence to support your could've, should've, would've's. Right? So this is now circumstantial evidence that you want people to do a hypothetical on and take away somebody's liberty and freedom for the rest of their life because you think they could have easily switched cars in the back of the gas station. Then why couldn't you have easily found the evidence to demonstrate that that is what they did? The craziness is that this was for the status of YSL. Nothing within this murder of Donovan Thomas reaps to me that this was for the status of YSL. Now, if you ask me if I was to believe the other murder, maybe. Shell not going to talk to the police. So she said that because you see her Hilton definitively stating that there was 3 types of bullets found in the shooting, right? Now, I wasn't sure she tried to tell us that there was 2 kinds found in his body, but one of them was definitely a .72 or 7 something 2, whatever her story was about it. The bottom line is everybody was shooting. Your witnesses came and testified and said it was like a free-for-all, all right? People was shooting back. So how do we know which bullets belong to whom? But I did look at the aerial shot, just being, mo. I did look at the aerial shots, and I'm going to tell you from the aerial shots, it just looked like all the bullets was going that way because of where they was, and even the ones that extended out. But I'm not a bullet person, so I don't know if you was shooting back how far your bullet was going to go, but it definitely just looked like there was a serious concentration of bullets in a spot. I do not negate the witness testimony that the Bonneville pulled over and did it. And I think that one of the problems for Kendrick would be that they are within their purview to think that. But I do believe they brought in the owner of the Bonneville. And he did testimony, something they did not harp on in the closing arguments, but something I think I vaguely remember seeing when I was watching the case. They don't follow the law going up the wrong street. So now Hilton is giving you all kinds of explanations as to why Kendrick and others, were the ones that pulled off this MDK based on the interrogation statements from Copeland and or Zachary, right? But she fails to remind people that Copeland, Zachary, and Demekion had all made an agreement what they was gonna say, and then Demekion didn't. He fell back and didn't proceed, and that's why Demikian and Copeland are not friends today. That came out in the testimony that was on their stand, right? So there are things that when they worked in her favor, she said it, but to just blatantly tell the folks that these people don't follow the laws anyway, so they will go up the street in the wrong way. There was no car involved in the shooting of Mr. Thomas that was traveling down the wrong way of the street. So why even put that out there? It's like when you're just throwing crap out here and hoping that people will just gravitate to what you say. There's no evidence to support the statements that she made. She can't even show you them traveling up the wrong way. At best, they can show you them running lights, and that's why they did, that's why they did what they did. Approximately 20 minutes after the murder, Yak wasn't with them at the time of the call because he was riding. Okay, so this goes with her Hilton showing or playing an audio clip from a jail call wherein whomever was on the call called approximately 20 minutes after the murder. But then she says Yak is not with them or able to speak on the call because he was out there doing the murder. Okay, if it's 20 minutes after the murder, how could he be out there doing the murder? I'm going to need you to stop. And I thought the people they was on the phone with was the people down with the murder. See, why are you confusing me? And that's it. Their own infinity guy said that the infinity wasn't even there. That is so true, girl. I only saw the infinity at the gas station. I saw a Bonneville during the time of the shooting, but I don't see anyone shoot from the Bonneville. See, the problem is that the infinity had the roof that they was shooting out the T, right? But the Bonneville didn't look like it had a roof to be shooting out the T. So they had a Infinibil. All right, that's what kind of car was there. It was a Bonifinity. I don't know what to call it because there was characteristics of both cars at the scene, which is typical of eyewitnesses. They never get it right? So you normally corroborate eyewitness testimony with other things that you can find. And they didn't find the other things that they needed to find. So now at the end, the conclusion, I just love the way they link stuff up. And they're like, well, guess what? They're at OG Bentley's house directly afterwards. This is what they do. They meet up after the thing. I was like, darn, this is crazy. You ever went somewhere with your good friends and you ended up somewhere doing something afterwards? Like you go and you hang out at the club, but then like I grew up in Southside Jamaica, Queens. Shout out to Southside Jamaica, Queens, right? Every Friday night, people would be going to the Q Club. Now, I was not permitted to go to the Q Club, and that's a whole nother story. You understand? Because I grew up with bodyguards, but I'm just not going to say no much more. But anyway, folks, everyone knew that after hanging out at the Q Club, right, you then proceed to Lucille's. And that is where you go to get that after breakfast meal, right? That's when you get your breakfast. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. You out there getting some coffee that you ain't never drunk because you about 17, 16, 17, maybe like me, 15, 14. You understand? They out there, they getting the egg you gotta be from Queens and know this sausage, egg, and cheese, or bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll. You understand? Some people sitting down, they getting grits and eggs or whatever, right? If you ain't there, then you was at the International Diner, because I also come from the other side of the world. But it didn't matter. You was somewhere afterwards. So OG Bentley's house afterwards was the place where they put up all the, listen to how they describe this crap. They put up all their weapons, and then that's also the place where they do exchanging all their weapons. What kind of fools are these? So let me just make sure I understand this right. Today you pew somebody with weapon number 1, and I come in with weapon number 2, ain't pew nobody, but I'm going to randomly take weapon number 1. I'm going to own whatever is attached to weapon number 1 if I'm found with it. I don't know where they find these people, but they was just like, this woman said they was changing each other's clothes, right? Exchanging clothes. She said they was even laying down next to each other. Look at the pictures. Yeah, they were family. They was family. Or in the words of my dear friend KK, they was a family. And that's why we are all in jail right now. Except for the people that took the high road. I don't even understand it, because people are not even in jail no more. They all coming home. I thought they went to McDonald's, but we never saw the footage. Well, you know what? I think that I do agree with Hilton. In that little slide that she put up, the one where she was like, what did the defense want you to believe? Hold up. Let me tell you the things that the defense wanted you to believe. I was like, oh, this is so disrespectful, but it's all part of proving your case, right? She said the defense wants you to believe that, 1, there's a stolen watch. See, Doug, why that stolen watch is asinine at this time? You can't be running around just talking about the stolen watch, right? She said, no reports. So that was at Shard. Hello. Then she had the nerve to say, no, they don't have no reports, because they wrote an extensive affidavit to the police, to the judge. All right, girl, bye. The rest of us seen your affidavit. Remember the one when Zachary was up in the hospital, and you did by any means necessary to write up to submit a document to the judge to get that witness there as a material witness with your misinformation inside of your affidavits, because the affidavit is just based on the information that you have available to you at the time. So it can be false information that you put inside of the affidavit, right? Because you're attesting to the information based on how you have it at the time. You're not swearing that it is the truth, nothing but the truth to help you anything, right? This is how the system is corrupt. Right? Because you see these nuances of how they tweak words, right? To make you believe one thing when it's actually totally something different. Good morning. The conspiracy. We'll come back to that. Okay. Knowledge of the co-conspirators, the 6 degrees of separation, the witness credibility, and music and art. She said those are the themes of the defense. And when she put it like that, and I saw them sitting up there on the screen, there was a moment that I felt duped. Not that I ever fell for the stolen watch. Not that I ever ran around screaming, where are the reports? Not that I ever went around talking about where's the video footage from the McDonald's thing. it was at that moment, looking at that slide, that I felt like the defendants needed more than the words of their attorneys, the testimony of their attorneys, to validate who they were. What we could clearly see from the type of case that that Steele was presenting, that I could tell his client would have never taken a stand. And you can tell that he was trying to get character evidence out of the people that were testifying, and he wasn't able to extract that as I thought he could have, right? So it's in those instances, and the reason why I keep saying that is because somebody's going to be behind there with the jurors, and they're going to be like, well, remember the judge said that what the attorneys say is not evidence. You understand? So coming up, I'll give you an example. Kendrick, right? Telling us that he was on the road to a scholarship, right? Which this is the reasons why Doug and I can't meet. I don't have a meeting of the minds with him, right? Because he comes up there and then he makes this really despicable connection to the ESPN by saying, well, couldn't that have been because he had a desire to play football, and then he chose, he could have been like, it was stupid. It didn't even make sense. It was not logical. So why would you even go there? You're insulting the intelligence of the people before you. Now, I did not hear, and I have not went back to hear this, but I did not hear no black comments that this woman got up there and said. So I'm like, how did I miss that? And I'll be the first one listening for some black comment coming out of Doug's mouth. So I was like, did I ignore Doug and I missed what he said? So that just annoyed me, because I have watched interviews with Kendrick, right? Yak Gotti, which is why I like Yak, right? I watched him on some interviews, and there was one, I don't know who the guy he was interviewing with, but he had just moved to California, and he was expressing how happy he was there. What a different life that was for him there. You know, like, and I was saying to myself, oh boy, why couldn't he run to the border? So imagine doing an interview. This is my opinion, okay? Imagine doing an interview of that nature with that type of substance, and you're saying to the interviewer, yeah, I left Atlanta, and I might not even want to go back there. And then you get to Thug's house, right? And it's another thing that messed me up with Doug. But you get to Thug's house and you see all this stuff laying around, right? Let me tell you something. And this is what really had me annoyed, right? I arrive at your house tonight. Maybe I get off the plane. I ain't even going to hold you, because I've visited friends who have moved out of town, right? When I was in my 20s, like them, right? And they wasn't on the up and up. When I got to the place that they stay at, let me tell you something. If I had even a sense that this is not the type of environment for me to be in, I'm breaking out in the AM. I'm like, you know what? This is why you stay at hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. If your friend starts selling weed, then you take her mins. I don't know, but there's no way I'm not staying inside the crib, right? I'm just getting up out of there. That's just me. You know, they rapping around here, you know. Girl, yo, when he said that ESPN thing, I was like, see, this is when people be peeing on your leg and telling you that it's raining. You understand? But I'm getting out of I'm abandoning the person's house. So when they said that Kendrick was running, right? You know what? I would have been running too. Imagine you went outside, right? You sitting outside smoking your woo because they got their woo. So let's just pretend. Hey Mo, get it together. They smoking their woo. Is that the popo? Out of here. I'm dodging. Boom, boom. Now, this is why they can't say that he was in the house. He might have been out for one of those Southern California walks. You understand? Like, oh, I'm just gonna. It never rains. I gotta do it, y'all. It never rains in Southern California. Ooh, it does. Shout out to the Thanksgiving people. Y'all know what that's about. if you know, you know. But anyway, back to the program, regular scheduled program hearing. That was just crazy. That's just super crazy. Okay. So he was running because probably in his head when he was inside that house, he was saying, you know what? I done walked away from this stuff. I done walked away from this stuff. Why am I here? And this is like, this is when you have that wake up moment and you just be like, that's why he was running. That's exactly why he was running. Good morning, sir. That's exactly why he was running. Okay, y'all know. Let me see. Y'all know me post on Instagram, Manic is back. Okay, this is crazy. This was even crazier because these are just assumptions, right? And I only got 8 minutes and I gotta go. Here's an assumption that Yak posted an Instagram post, and I think that's spelled wrong, but whatever. He posted an Instagram post, right? Because you know Yak means maniac, right? And he was a maniac on the field is how he got this name, right? So, and incidentally, I just got to break off for a minute. Yak had scholarship opportunities to go to college to play football. Anybody know why he lost that opportunity? Because this is a faster bridge and you can pause and think about it, but I'm going to tell you anyway. He was charged with an assault, a sexual assault on a female. And it wiped out those opportunities. I think the charges were later dropped and she moved on and stuff like that. But that wiped out the opportunities. Him, the other guy that just passed away, Rich Homie Quan, right? He had scholarship opportunities and was a excellent baseball player, right? Yak's uncle was in the music business. You understand? So no one needed to be codependent on these people. They had other avenues to pursue what they was pursuing. That's just based on the interviews that I had. That's why I think that type of character witnesses to just put on to, in your words of you folks out here in Never Never Land, to humanize the client needed to be done for the client that was there. Those jurors need to understand who these people were before they became targeted by the police department based on their zip code, residing in a zip code. You know, if anybody could have made a song and said, I just beat a murder rap, paid my thing 30 racks for that, could have been Kendrick. Another thing, pause. You know it's his birthday the other day. I'm going to need you people to get your fashion sense together. I was sitting here watching the stream. They're like, oh, he's wearing Gucci. He's wearing this. That was Christian Dior. Y'all don't know? If you don't know, stay out of this lane. Just be like, that was a nice jacket, nice print. If you don't know, you don't know. I was laying down on my couch watching this on a big top, and I said, I had a bag like that. What's wrong with you folks? Y'all don't know nothing. I was so angry. I was just, and you know I'm all about the bags. Can you imagine? We still on time out wearing that big red, I would say Elmo outfits. Wearing them Elmo outfits to trial with the black shirt underneath it. It was just disgusting. I need people to let me. I need people to stop. Also, I remember them saying in trial, Yak had an alibi with Boosie. Something about they were actually hooking up and was actually adulting. Why they didn't call her up? Because I think they tried to say that he tried to, like that was a thing alibi. But when you have an alibi witness, right? So just so y'all know, whenever you're charged with something of this nature and you have an alibi witness, there's a special hearing that you have. You know how they be talking like Brady material and stuff like that? There's a hearing that you have. I don't know whose name it is, but there's a hearing with a name to it, right? So it's going to be like Duntley, something. It's going to be some it's not Doppler because we already know what that means, but there's some other kind of hearing that you hold where your alibi witness is presented or whatever, because then they could just throw out the charges against you without having to go to these lengths to have a trial. So perhaps they had that. It might be like y'all gonna have to ask what's the dude's name? Rome. You might have to ask Rome what that hearing is called. But there's Supreme Court cases that go with all of this stuff, and I can't remember what it was. You know, I took paralegal school, you know, like 11 years ago. So I don't remember. But Duncan, there's some kind of hearing that you have when you have an alibi. So that could have put them on notice, but maybe it wasn't sufficient enough. Or maybe because they have all these wiretaps, maybe they misunderstood him probably telling her like, yo, you need to get on this and tell people where I was at. And they probably was going to come in here because, you know, they eavesdroppers. They never hear anything right and just tell it to us wrong. I think I'm going to stop on count 2. But know this, I was dismantled by count 49. And I was so sick of hearing about confessions over a beat. That's just it. But I want to caution everybody with, these are my opinions. Everyone's entitled to one. It doesn't mean that I am for or against whatever decision that the jurors finally come up with, right? I'm not in that position to be a juror on this case. So I just, as the rest of us, only have an opinion based on what I've seen. If you are dissatisfied with the representation that you are seeing inside of Georgia and your address, your zip code falls in the Georgia exchange, you're the people who can make a difference and stop this type of stuff from occurring. And it's not limited to voting in or voting out the DA. It starts with rewriting these laws that surround RICO and the activities that surround them. It's the laws that need to be modified. It is the sentences that are associated with these laws that need to be modified. Anyway, with that being said, little Miss Mo is gonna have to go, but we will definitely come back to this conversation when I get back. So and today I will be streaming it live because I don't have it's just gonna be Wit talking her stiff. Judge Wit talking her stuff about the case. So I think it's fair. The reason why I didn't go live on some of these things is because I've been in other communities where they've been going live, and I just don't think it's fair of me to have done that. But in this particular instance, I don't really think there's a big nexus against it. Where's my end song? Oh, hold on a minute. I gotta add it over here. Do I not have it? I did not make it. All right, hold up. I'm gonna be so mad because I thought I did this. Mo, you is just a hot mess, but that's okay because I made it, and I'm gonna make sure I get it that way. I just have to remind people because sometimes I think we get so caught up in it's nothing I could do about it when it's something that all of us can do about it. We're going to stop that right there. But we're going to turn this off. And then I saw where this is wrong. You know, I'm still working on this. I'm still a work in progress with this stuff. All right, I might have to leave that alone. I can't do it all. But that's weird. All right, 1 second. Hold up. Me and this thing, I'm going to get this to work some way, somehow. One minute, T. Mommy just messed up the whole thing. I messed up my big outro after I wasted all my time trying to make it. Hold up. I'm going to get this thing right now. All right, hold up a minute. We are going to look. I'm just convinced I'm gonna do it. Hold up a second. Y'all gotta wait with me. Hold up. How do I get rid of that thing? Get out of here. Are you sure? Yes. All right. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna post this in here. Where is it? You know that is so annoying. I know this is wrong. Look, I'm just gonna try anyway. But I don't hear it. Because I don't hear it. Oh, this is so annoying. Where's my thing? But I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm gonna try it again.